What made you write the book?
Well, what happened was I was looking for books that dealt with hip hop from a metaphysical and spiritual standpoint. There were many books about the economic, social, and that aspect of hip hop on many shelves written by many people, but none that dealt with hip hop being a science, a magical power. You know what I mean? That belongs to us.
Right.
Based on our ancestors that left a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, with the sacred dancer, the drummer, the hieroglyph, and the oracle who spoke, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge of self, word of mouth. So that concept has never left us. You know what I'm saying? Even when we hit the shores of North America, we was pounding them drums.
Of course.
We was bringing that sacred science with us, even through our jazz, and it just morphed into what we called hip hop. Hip hop is nothing new. We've been beating on that drum. We've been putting them pictures up. We've been dancing. Even in times when it don't seem like we should be dancing. Slave masters whipping our ass. Can I say that?
No, yes you could.
This is whipping our ass, and yet we're dancing and singing, and it's confusing them because we understand the power of the magic word, of the sacred word. That's how we heal ourselves, through our music, through our certain chants. So I sat in many classes. First and foremost, I got knowledge of self when I was 14 years old. And that enabled that the most profound thing I ever heard was that the black man was God. So I sat in classes dealing with numerology, astrology, occult science, all kind of science, you know what I mean? Because, knowledge is infinite.
That's right.
And I was sitting in these classes and under some profound teachers, and I was looking around and there was nobody that was my age.
Right.
There was nobody, it was all these old people with top hats who can't really act upon the information. Elders, I love them to death, but they get the information. It's the youth that's gonna act. So I said, you know what? I need to find a way to transform this information into hip hop. Because hip hop is a language that our youth speak. And if you can speak it, you can teach them anything you want to teach them.
Of course.
So all I did was say, I'm gonna put together a book that breaks down high concepts and high sciences just in the form of hip hop, where a regular dude on the corner can understand what I'm talking about.
So
I grew up with Busy B personally, Special K, Treacherous 3, Keith from the Funky 4+1. So these were personal mentors.
Right.
My Tilo Rock. So my hip hop swagger was on 100,000 trillion. You know what I'm saying? So when I stand in front of people and I talk hip hop, I speak it on a certain level because I was able to witness certain things. So that part of the book, to talk about the history, even though this book is more focused on the mystery, the history, I didn't need to reference nothing. I just had to scroll back through the pineal gland and do this. I do a lot of talking to myself. You know what I mean? I don't just write. I have conversations with self. And if I can understand it, you know what I mean? I figure most people should be able to understand it. So I wrote, because I'm an MC first and foremost.
Right.
So I wrote as if I was, and I never wrote rhymes on paper. You know what I mean? I was one of those cats, they make a big deal, Jay-Z and Biggie, I was doing that in 1981. You know what I mean? So I wrote it as if I was writing poetry. I wanted it to read to the point where you can understand. And the beautiful thing about writing a book is I get a chance to state my whole case.
Right.
Because it's a book. So whether you agree with me or not, you got to read the entire book and my case is stated. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having a conversation, you can cut me off. If something don't resonate with, nah, son, I ain't trying to.
Right.
But if you got the book in your hand, you have to read it. I'm stating my case in front of the jury. And it was the first book of its kind to really delve into that type of science. And brothers and sisters is like, thank you. I was thinking the same thing. It came out 2006. I got 3 more coming in June, July, and August of 2010.
And so this here, man, like I said, man, just in reading. Just matter of fact, when I first got it, there was another cover.
Right. That the original cover it had half Homeboy in the corner, half comedic.
Right.
And them a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Incredible.
So I wanted our young brothers to immediately see themselves. The dude got his Kango on his hat, and the other side is comedic, dealing with ancient science. And I split it down the middle, and I have the Kabbalah in the background with half comedic science and half matrix to show you there was a splice at some point in how we dealt with information. Once Rick Rubin and them came on the scene, and Hustle Simmons, this became a little bit more about money.
Right.
There's nothing wrong.
No.
But the science was, you know, the MC. People don't even use a DJ no more.
Right.
So the actual art form was lost. So this cover, I'm going back to the original one, but I gave a young brother an opportunity after he read the book. He was so inspired. And he was an artist. So I said, give me a rendition of what comes to your mind. And this is what came to his mind. So this is sort of like a special edition. But people went up in arms, man. When booksellers, they was like, nah, son, I can't sell it now. Because the original cover was so powerful.
Yeah, but see when I seen it, man, like I said, you know, I started thinking of I started King Men's, you know what I mean? I looked at Imhotep, you know, I broke it down. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I wanted our young brothers to see that we are the same lineage.
Right.
We the same brothers and sisters. It's just that we've been hit over the head and we've lost a lot of who we are. But we got to begin through the music to reconnect with that. I did an entire lecture on the book cover alone, an hour and a half, just breaking it. There was so much science, layers and layers and layers, and people were up in arms. So no disrespect, son, I gave you a shot. I have to go back to the original cover.